Hi, and welcome to the BookishStitcher podcast. My name is Jeanette. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Goodreads as BookishStitcher, all one word. I hope you guys have had a great 2 weeks since I've podcasted. Thank you so much for being patient. Last week, my husband wrote a note on the Ravelry group, board post, because I was sick. So I think podcasted 2 weeks ago. It was okay for beginning part of the week, and then on the latter part of the week, on the Thursday before last, I just that night came down with the worst sickness, fever, and all that other not fun sickness stuff from everywhere. And so then on Friday he had to stay home because I couldn't even get out of bed to do anything other than be sick. I couldn't go make food for the kids. I couldn't do anything. I just laid in bed and had an audiobook playing next to me on Friday because I was so sick. And then Saturday I was still sick, but I could kind of get out of bed, but I couldn't really walk around the house much without feeling dizzy, and my fever was still pretty high. And then Sunday I started to feel better, but I was wiped out, just wanted to sleep all day. I wasn't actively being sick, but I was in that recovery kind of, and my fever had gone down to a low fever. And then Monday was the eclipse here in the United States, so if you got to see that, I hope you enjoyed it. So I was feeling pretty okay. I was still a little bit worn out on Monday, but I wanted to see the eclipse, and my husband came home from work for it for a little bit during lunch. And we have a telescope that my son had got for his birthday, and we have a sun filter. And so we're all out there. My 5-year-old wasn't as impressed. But here in Texas, we weren't at totality. We were just at 60-70% of the eclipse, of the moon covering the sun. But it was neat to see, and it didn't really cool off a bunch. But we did watch some ones in Oregon and different places where it was totality, and it was beautiful and really must have been kind of eerie. And I loved all the pictures I've seen online of different people and the eclipse shots. But yeah, I was just too sick, to do much. And then I guess maybe because I was active on Monday doing stuff, Monday night I came down again really sick, and it got worse than it was before. My fever was higher, and we were trying to figure out how to get me into the emergency room because it was Monday night and my kids are both asleep, so my husband couldn't take me. I was seeing can I drive myself into the emergency room with a fever this high? I was kind of at the point where it was becoming a kind of, you feel like you're not in your body, and your cognizance is kind of leaving you. I couldn't answer basic questions about myself because my fever was 103, and we were should I, we didn't want to call an ambulance because I was it's too expensive, and he was can we lift you? Let's Uber you to the emergency room. So I ended up going in and getting medicine, and they were okay, yeah, you have multiple infections going on, and you're really sick, and yeah, you should have come in days ago. So go me. But yeah, and then right now, I don't know if you can hear, Hurricane Harvey is happening outside. It started off kind of, I guess, Friday, but yesterday we stayed at home the entire day, and it's weird because we are in the, I guess, northeast part of San Antonio, and we have gotten a whole bunch more rain than downtown San Antonio. We've gotten, I think my husband said, almost 6 inches. And it's been extremely windy here, blowing gutters off our house. My backyard behind me looks like there's a poltergeist. Things are flying around because it's still super windy. We lost power on Saturday for several hours, and so haven't completely lost power yet today. There's been flickers, but hopefully it will last long enough for me to podcast. So I'm not going to talk any more life stuff because let's just get into the podcast. That's probably enough life, so I just wanted to say thank you guys for being so patient last week while I was recovering. And I have a finished object for you. This is my Ashburn Shawl, and it is a Melanie Berg pattern knit out of a kit from Skein yarns. This is the Helens colorway. This is the, what's the white one? I don't remember what the white one is called. Cremia. And then the blue is called Perfect Day. And this thing is 1,000 yards, and it's enormous. It starts here. Well, it started over here, but that's it right there, and it just keeps getting bigger. It's like 3 of my wingspans. Yeah, so it's very large, and in the pattern it has you do a picot bind off, but I decided I liked the clean line of just the plain, so I kept it plain to bind off, and it's going to be so nice because the pattern has you knit a fingering weight shawl, but I knitted out of sport, so it's a little bit squishier than the pattern would be, and I love these colors together. So that is finished object. I'm excited to have that done and to be able to wear it sometime soon. It's funny, because of the hurricane, the weather has cooled off significantly, probably 20-25 degrees cooler than it would normally be right now. So I feel like it's fall, but it's not. It's in the, I guess, like mid-lower 70s here right now, and it's normally would be in the upper 90s because it's August in Texas. And I'm just enjoying the colder weather right now, and I'm hoping that when the heat finally, or when it does return after the hurricane, that it's not as bad as it was. And so then, next thing I have, after I finished the Ashburn shawl, I picked up another shawl that was a whip that I had. And this is in a twist fiber studio bag. I love the octopus and the different sea animals. And in here is the Dotted Rays shawl by Stephen West. And I'm knitting this out of some Vice yarns. That's what it looks like. And when I picked it up on Friday, I think Friday, as soon as I finished the Ashburn, I picked up this one. I was right here. I was in this dark, like emerald forest green color. And so I knit this much since then. And it's gone from the dark emerald green to this kind of teal, and then and you can see, I kind of think you can see easier in the lighter colors, the dotted ray part of the yarn over lace holes, and then it will go into like the aqua, and then finally transition to this huge bit of purple. And I wanted to mention something to you guys, because I don't know if this would be helpful to you, but it's been extremely helpful to me, and I just kind of thought it up. I'm sure somebody else has thought it up before as well, but this pattern has short rows in it, and that's kind of how you create the look. And I was doing it, would say, you know, like the part I'm at right now, you would knit to 11 before the last short row and turn. And so I was like stopping, counting, nope, I'm not at 11 yet, stop, count, nope, I'm not at 11, oh, I went too far, and just that kind of thing. And so it was getting really time consuming to figure that out. So what I did was I put in this stitch marker. So on the right side row, I knit to the stitch marker, and then take it out, and then turn it, and then start working the wrong side row. And then I would knit, like I said, 11 right now. So I would knit 11 stitches on the wrong side row, place the stitch marker there, and keep going to the end of the row, so that on the next right side row I can just knit to the stitch marker. And I've just been keeping on doing that over and over again as I've been knitting the pattern, and it's made it to where I don't have to stop and guess and count how many stitches are left till I get to where I need to turn. It's been so helpful. So if you are doing a short row shawl that requires that, I would definitely suggest having a stitch marker, unless you want to spend a lot of time pausing and counting. So that has helped me immensely, and it just makes it easier to just be able to get up and go and knit. And I'm loving that too, because the color transitions make it almost like a self-striping sock, where you're like, next color, next color. So I think that's going to get done fairly quickly. And I just have some tea here. It's almost not cool. This isn't a fun mug. It's a pottery mug. It's yellow, which yellow is not one of my favorite colors, but it's a color that I really love. It feels happy to me. It's like very sunshine yellow color. But I'm having some, this is it's not nighttime, but this is some Stormy Night from David's Tea. And the flavor notes are chocolate, cinnamon, coconut, vanilla. This drink is a real piece of work, all right. Hotter than an inferno and smoother than silk. It's good, almost too good. And I only have one serving left of this, so I'm gonna have to order some more tea, but it's really yummy. Oh, and it's super hot still. That was painful. Okay. So next, onto my Paloma sweater. That is in my Fat Squirrel fiber bag. And last time, and I'm knitting this out of, it's a, not a tin can, it's a Baby Cocktails pattern. I'm knitting this out of some O wool in their Legacy Bulky in the Rain Cloud colorway. And it's this really beautiful color. I love it. It's kind of a very light mint or a very light kind of aqua teal color. And last time I showed this to you, it's so big, I had just done the provisional cast on for the pocket. It was just like right above here. So now I knit all that part, and I am decreasing for the armholes. And this is the front left, I believe. But yeah, and I'm knitting these with my marbles, which I absolutely love. I think it's like cool. I pick colors of my marbles that go with the thing we'll eat. So this is the gauge is correct, but I think I like to pick the colors too. So there's my Paloma sweater. I have the back done, and the next, like maybe even tonight probably, I will have finished the left front. I can cast on the other side, and so that will be fun thing to have done. It just reminds me of a sweater that's perfect for tromping around in the woods in the winter time, and it has pockets so you can collect all the things that your children give you from the forest. So it will be perfect for me because my kids are always giving me flowers and acorns and random sticks. So, and the next thing I have is also in a Fat Squirrel Fibers bag. And I picked this because it was applicable to the yarn. Oh, I forgot to bring it down. But this is some Knit Circus yarn, and it's one of their gradients that I got forever ago, 2 or 3 years? Probably 3 years. And it's called Robin's Nest. So this bag has little birds on it, and I thought it was perfect. And I just cast on some cozy house socks. And I wanted them to be a little bit oversized and kind of just like slouchy. So this is they look like so far. I'm into the brown part, and it will go into, I'm all about the blues. So there, it will go into the, like a, I don't know, it's like a different shade, like a gradient of blues. I can't even think of what color blue, like a royal but lighter, and then into like a teal. So this looks like. And that's just the first one. It comes in a 2-pack, and they're side by side in a little package. And I'm knitting these on some Knit Picks, the wooden ones. They're called like Sunburst or something. I really like these wooden ones because they have a good finish to them, so they are really nice to knit with and really smooth. They're not as fast, but I don't know why, I just felt like those needles needed to be knit with the Robin's Nest yarn colorway. So cool off. But then, so next, so the title of this is Big Changes, and life, you know, the last 2 weeks have been crazy, but life is just getting crazier and crazier because this week, another reason I didn't say other than Harvey that's been crazy is it's been back to school week of come and get the kids' uniforms, and you know, they don't go to a private school, but it's like a charter school, so it's, you know, it's free, but they still require uniforms. I know some public schools require uniforms too. The uniforms aren't free, but we have to pay for the uniforms. We had to go in and get the uniforms. We had to go and drop off your school supplies list, and there were people bringing in like little red wagons full of the different school supplies because there was so much stuff you had to bring for kindergarten. It was insane, the amount of stuff we had to buy. But then, you know, come and meet your teacher, and so now I have 2 in school, so in school full time with, you know, kindergarten and 5th grade. I had to go and meet the teachers and all kinds of stuff, and it's just been a super busy week. And dance started up again for my daughter, and she's really excited about that, and it's just been a lot of fun. But along with that, school starts tomorrow. And so as soon as this is over, we're in prep mode for school and backpacks and making sure everything is cleaned and ready. But as soon as they go to school, I have, for the past little while, I've talked about this, I've worked from home for a nonprofit, but now that they're in school, I can be out of the house working. So I have been doing lots of job research online and lots of, you know, filling out resumes, and as soon as they're in school, I'm going to be going on lots of job interviews, and until the job interview, and then I'm going to be working. Probably not full-time because I want to be able to pick my kids up, but I'm looking for about a 30-hour-a-week job. And so, yeah, I've been looking at lots of different option stuff. And so I will not be home at all during the day. Probably shouldn't be announcing that to the whole internet, but I do have a very ferocious dog. But anyway, so I will not be at home at all during the day, and unless I can find another at-home job, which would be nice, but it's not looking that way. So I won't be home, so my knitting time is going to be drastically reduced, because I used to be working from home. I would get to knit quite a bit, and that's not going to be the case anymore. So what I'm going to do from now on with the podcast is going to be a new season of the podcast. Maybe I'll do like my friend Steph the Knitting Samurai, like season 2 of the BookishStitcher, where I record every 2 weeks. You know, some of you might be happy, some of you might hopefully, you know, not be mad, but I just am not going to have as much time to knit. I don't know, like how many hours do you guys typically have to knit in a day? Because I feel like sometimes when I see how much people get done, they must either not have small children or not have a job, or both. Maybe they're stay-at-home mom or parent or stay-at-home partner with no kids, because then you can get a ton of stuff done, right? But I am not going to have that. I'm only going to have about 2 hours in the evening to knit every day. So I'm going to be not more than cutting my knitting time in half. I'm going to be cutting my knitting time by like a third. So like I would normally have probably 6 hours a day, like 4 during the day and 2 at night, and now I'm going to have just 2 at night. So there's not going to be as much to show you guys, and there hasn't been as much for a while because I've been applying for jobs online, and that's become like a job, so I haven't been knitting while I've been doing that. And so yeah, I hope that everybody's okay with that. So it'll be this week, not the next week, but the next week. So I'll put up a thread about that in the group so that you guys can know. But really all you would have to do is, if you're watching on YouTube, then you can hit the notifications button and it will notify you every time an episode pops up. Or if you're on iTunes, then it will automatically pop up in your feed, and that's super easy for you. So yeah, every 2 weeks from now on is the news for that. But then also in group news, because so many of you I think seemed interested in this, we are going to have sock blank September. And so that means in September, if you have a sock blank that, I'm so distracted, things are flying. My deck, well, it's not really a deck chair, it's like a fold out $5 chair from the dollar store that my mom gave us, are flying around in the back. We have a dog house that is built for like an 80-pound dog, so my dog can have a lot of room in it. It's been flying around the backyard. The winds are insane. We haven't lost any trees yet, but we have lost gutters, so it's just behind me is chaos because I'm looking out into the back. So if I seem distracted, it's because it's chaos back there. But this is my sock blank that I'm going to be doing for sock blank September. And this is actually my oldest sock blank. I've knit other sock blanks, I just haven't knit this one up. But this is the first one I got, and it is from my favorite sock blank maker that I've gotten from, which is Gail's Art. I have many favorites, but this is probably the one that like I can get it fairly easily. And you know, I don't have to play like ninja, and also I love the feel of it and the stuff that she has always coming out with new stuff. So Gail's Art, and she does the stencils, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now I haven't tried a ton of sock blank people, so there's probably amazing ones out there that I don't even know of. And this is, I've been saving it because I wanted to knit it in the fall, and I just hadn't come up with the chance for that. But this will be perfect now because it's sock blank September, we're in the fall kind of, and not really too fall, like we don't get these colors here, but it'll be fun to knit them in September. And so if you have a sock blank that you would like to knit then please join us. I think maybe sock blank September as the hashtag on Instagram or something. But, and then the prize for that will probably be another sock blank. And I think I can't remember from the last time I podcasted, but I think there was something I was supposed to draw for, which I can't remember I don't think there was a giveaway, but I think there was like a knit along ending or something. I haven't been on Ravelry because I was sick and then back to school stuff. But I will check on that and tag those people because I know I drew some and it's up in my podcast notebook, the ones that I drew. And if you're waiting for a package from me, I will be getting it to you. I intended to go to the post office tomorrow and mail stuff off after dropping off the kids. But with the hurricane, they don't even know. Their school has said that they might not even be having school tomorrow. So we're kind of in limbo as regards to that. So when the weather has returned to non-crazy rain and wind, I will be mailing off your package, hopefully soon. And so that is everything for the knit along and group news that I can think of. Like I said, I haven't been on Ravelry much. It's just been so busy. The only places that I've really been are places where I can get on really quick and like on Goodreads, rate my book a 4-star or a 5-star and then just sign out. But I do have some enabling for you guys, and it is not yarn related, but it is book related, and it is stunning. I saw these on Instagram, forget how, but somebody was having like I guess it's kind of when, like, if a yarn company, I've never had, well maybe I have, but if a yarn company sends a podcaster like their yarn to try out and then you get a discount off their thing. So a book representative person, basically a book representative person was showing these and then had a coupon code. And so I saw them, I was like, oh, that's beautiful. And they're out of Australia. And the shipping isn't too bad, but I did decide, since I was going to be having to pay more for shipping, that I was just going to get a bunch at once because of the coupon code anyways and give them as gifts, because I often will give a book as a gift, and I thought this would be something perfect to put in the book. So what are they? They are from Ink and Wonder. I'm going to try to get my arm as close as possible. They are bookmarks, and they have tons of fandoms. So I posted a picture on Instagram of, I was finishing during the hurricane reading the first Harry Potter. I read the illustrated edition that we have that I'd never read, and I had a Hagrid bookmark with pumpkins, which felt very fall and wonderful, and I'm so excited for the fall. But this next Harry Potter one that I love is a Luna bookmark. She is my favorite, and I believe she was Ravenclaw, which I am. And so this is a J.K. Rowling quote: "Things we lose have a way of coming back to us in the end, if not always in the way we expect." Oh, I just love that. And she's with her quibbler, and she has her wonderful glasses. Luna's one of my favorite. I decided I'm going to start reading through all the illustrated Harry Potters and that we have and kind of go in order, and I'm so excited to get back into reading about Luna because she's one of my favorites. It's just, I think she just shows that you can be kind of whimsical, and I don't even know the correct word for it, but you can be kind of whimsical and flighty or whatever and still be brilliant, which makes me feel good because a lot of times I feel like my brain is not there. But then the next one I got says, "Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same." And this might be a present to my husband in a book. I don't know. I got another one that might be for him too that I didn't bring down. But this is Emily Bronte. And it's beautiful birds cuddling. And then they had an octopus one, which I had to get. "Live in the sunshine, swim the sea, drink the wild air." Ralph Waldo Emerson. They didn't have an owl one that I saw, or I would have gotten that too, because the owl is my favorite bird, the octopus is my favorite creature of the sea. But in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer. Albert Camus. I love Camus. So there's that one. And then the last one I brought to show you, I had some other ones that I got like for gifts and stuff. But the last one is they had a whole bunch of Disney themed ones. And so this says, "Wandering free, wish I could be part of that world." And it's the mermaid. So I thought those were beautiful, and you can definitely check them out. I think it's perfect in a gift. They had all Lord of the Rings, they had some YA authors, they had, you know, different other classic authors. So just, there was everything. And so if you know, are looking for like a unique thing for yourself, or for a gift to put in for a birthday or Christmas or whatever, I think these are great. And you know, they came in a little tiny box, so the shipping wasn't too much from Australia, but I just really, I love to match my bookmark with my book, which is probably silly. I don't have a, like I said before, I'm very much a minimalist about stuff, but like I do have a little Matryoshka tin, and I keep my bookmark collection in there. So add to my bookmark collection. And then, since it's enabling in books, we'll go on to the book for this week. And since I could not knit when I was sick, because I couldn't sit up, I was just laying in bed, I got a lot of audiobooks done, or if it was light like this one, I could read this one in bed because it was light enough. And so this book is one, it's really fun because I think I got this, maybe I got this in DC when I went with Elisa and Tania, but I love when bookstores have this section called the staff picks or staff recommendations, and they will tell you, it has the book and then it tells you underneath why the staff member, like why this is their favorite book or why they love it. And the description on this, you could just really tell that this book had a special spot in this person's heart, and it's very charming. So I picked it up, and it was tiny, so it was great for like readathons and stuff where you're trying to get a certain number of books read in a week. But this is 84 Charing Cross Road by Helen Heffe. And basically this is an epistolary novel written, which means it means it's written in a letter form. So there's two people, Helen, who is a writer in America, and then basically an entire bookstore that she befriends in London or England. And this is, the bookstore is at 84 Charing Cross Road. That's the street that it's at. And she really loves books that are older and that are kind of, I don't want to say pretty, but have like good binding and nice soft covers and like nice materials that they're made out of, ways that you don't really see in the US. I do have a couple older edition books from Europe, from England, that people have gifted to me when they went there, and it's just different the way that the books are made. So it's really beautifully done, some of the ones that I have. But she writes to this bookstore asking for certain books, and it kind of forms a friendship, or it does form a friendship over the years. And she, you know, writes for different things, like a Bible that she wants in a certain version, or certain poems, or just certain all kinds of different books and stuff like that. And she's so witty. The Helen, she's so witty, and the people in the bookstore are so wonderfully British in just this brilliant way that it just made me smile, because she tries to get their goat, saying, but she tries to goad them a little bit and like tease them about stuff. Like, they're supposed to be getting a book for her at one point, and she writes them a note like, "Hey sloth, what is going on?" And they just respond so politely and kindly to her, and don't give in to her antics at all. And so it's brilliant. And she never actually makes it to this bookstore, as far as I'm aware. At the end of this book, she hadn't. But the one man that is the certain man that she kind of does most of her correspondence with, he works there, and it is, I believe it's after World War II, and it's when England is having a lot of rationing and they can't get a lot of foods like eggs or different meats. So apparently there was this catalog where you could order stuff from a neighboring country that wasn't on ration to be sent to England. So she starts ordering them Christmas presents and Easter presents and like all kinds of stuff for their families and for the people at the bookstore to share around amongst the workers and things. And so they just kind of love her. And don't know, it's just a charming book. That's kind of the best word I can think of to describe it. And it's very quick. I read this one morning when I was drinking my coffee. I was just like, had my mug in hand, sipping, reading a letter. It took less than an hour. So I imagine you could definitely get it from your library, but yeah, I did cry at the end, which probably won't surprise anyone, but it's just such a sweet friendship. And she has friends that are over in England at different times, and she sends them, she's like, go to my bookshop and see what it looks like and tell me. And so whenever somebody goes there and they're like a friend of Helen's, they're like, oh, and they keep hoping that she'll come. All the people in the bookshop still, they're always saying to her, you know, oh, you can sleep at my house, you can sleep at my house, please come visit. And she keeps saying that different things happen, like, oh, I need dental work or stuff. And I think that she's just kind of making stuff up because she's nervous to go and meet these people, that she says that she's always been so horrid to them in all her letters to them, but I mean, they know she's joking. But it was wonderful. I am so glad that there was a staff recommendations wall at, I think, what was the name of that bookstore in DC? Oh, I can't remember it. Kramer and Kramer. Yes, my brain is working. Yay. I think it's Kramer and Kramer. And I'm so glad that they had a staff recommendation shelf and that I picked this up. And it's been so much fun, you know, getting to read somebody else's favorite from a stranger. I don't even know the person from the bookstore, but yeah. So 84 Charing Cross Road. And I believe some of my friends on Goodreads have read this and most of them liked it. This is not a book that has like strong feelings one way or the other. It's not going to be any like, I hated this book, I loved this book, which I know some books have. And every single book thing that I review on here, as you guys know me if you've been watching, it's a recommendation. And you know, I would never tell someone like, you must love this book, or this book is awful, don't read this book, avoid this book at all. But I don't believe in that. I believe try it for yourself. And if it sounds like something you might like, or if you're unsure, maybe get it from the library, read a couple of chapters, see if you like it. So I think that's always the best thing with books, because sometimes books that you thought you would not like can completely surprise you. I've had that happen multiple times with books, and books that you'll think you'll love. I'm in the middle of one right now that I've had on my to-be-read list for forever, and I thought I would absolutely love it. And I think it's too much for me. It's a little too creepy, and I'm having trouble getting through it. So you never know. Just give books a try, give peace a try, give peace a chance. So anyways, that's all I have for the podcast this week. I'm hoping that we don't have to go back out in the weather much, and I'm really hoping that it calms down a bit for their school tomorrow. So, you know, have any positive thoughts, prayers to send our way, because I am one ball of anxious kindergarten mom. I'm freaking out, to say the least. So yeah, I mean, how mad will her school be at me if I call every hour to make sure she's okay? Because they don't let us drop them off. I always see in movies and television shows where the parents get to walk their kids in on the first day of kindergarten. I have never gotten that experience. Did you get to walk your kid in on the first day of kindergarten if you have a kid? I didn't. Ever. And I feel cheated, and I feel like I really want to walk her in and make sure she's safe, because yeah, so I may just like sit in the parking lot all day with a book and watch and make sure she's safe. I'm kidding, I'm not going to do that. That would be a little crazy of me to do. I will probably be one of the very first people to pick up but yeah, and I probably will call to make sure she's okay at least once. Even though we met her teacher and she seems okay. There were two teachers, and there was one that I really, really wanted because I know that she loves knitwear, and I had knit something for her already, not even knowing if she was going to be Faye's teacher, and we didn't get that teacher. So the thing that I knit for my daughter's teacher, I'm going to have to keep or give to somebody else, because her new teacher would not ever wear a knitted thing ever. Like, she's not that type. So anyways, that's my anxiousness. You guys understand. If you've had kids that have gone to kindergarten, you understand. Or if you don't, if you haven't had kids that have gone to kindergarten, I'm sure you can at least imagine that a person would feel anxious. But I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast. So I hope you have a wonderful time, and I will see you guys I've forgotten what I say. I hope you have a wonderful week and you get to do all the things you love, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, bye guys.